But no, I kind of have news in regards to, like, my life. And I don't know if this is something that I, like, overly necessarily, like, have to share, but it's something that I kind of feel like disclosing. I'm gonna turn the music down so I can hear myself think. I don't know if that makes sense, but so recently I started seeing a psychiatrist, and I got my ADHD diagnosis in Minnesota, and I got ADHD medication, and I started that like a week ago, or a week and a half ago now or something. Still getting used to it, but yeah, I am medicated now. Not like raw dog in life anymore. Same, and I'm not up in gremlin hours anymore, and when you stream I'm always doing something, but trying to join any chance possible. Dude, I know, I used to be so gremlin hours, and now I have like 9 to 5 hours. It's like weird, but it's like 6 to 6. Ah! Warvel, thank you for the gifted sub to Killer Man. Thank y'all. How do you feel? It's kind of weird to explain because I feel more like a normal person, but it's obviously not normal for me. So I feel like more normal to normal people, but not more normal to me. I feel like I think too fast. That probably doesn't make sense. Like, before I would like think about something, and then I would like want to do the thing, and then there would be like a little like delay and deliberation in my head because I didn't have the dopamine to just do the thing. I had to like pull myself together to do the thing, and now I can just boom, done. Okay, so I'm just like, I'm like whiplashing myself from getting things done so fast. It's really weird. Like, it's a lot easier to mask and act normal now. It's not as hard to hold back my but I feel like a little bit less fun. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know if Ian hasn't really mentioned much of a difference. But I feel the main thing is I feel like a more normal person. And I like that I'm weird, quirky, whatever. And it's like conflicting because I want to be productive. I want to get things done. I want to like do more with my life. And I feel like it will help me do all that. And I might just be like I'm more locked in, and I'm used to being like not locked in. So it's like weird. I'm like, oh, I can do things. And it's not hard. I'm getting all this stuff done. I'm not crashing out. I'm not like going nuts for no reason. So it's weird. I think it's mostly good. Like when there's like a notable point where the medicine like wears off in a day, and I can like feel myself kind of like not crashing, but when I'm like kind of like, okay, like it's kind of wearing off, and I'm being a bit more like down to my normal lack of dopamine levels. The voices are gone. The voices are not gone. The voices are not gone. I just don't, they don't just like come right out my mouth. There's like a oh, we're gonna stay in here, I guess. Like I can actually control myself now. Like I didn't take my medication this morning, and when I went to have this meeting with my manager, like basically they're going to temporarily fire me. I'm gonna get like suspended, I think. And I will get more into that because it's a whole thing. But I kind of like started arguing with him, and I was like, ma'am, stop, ma'am, stop. But it's like normally when I think something, it comes right out of my mouth. Like in class that I was like, oh, blurt out the answer A, blah blah blah, whatever. But now I could be like, oh, I'm gonna let someone else answer, or I'm just not gonna answer, or I'm gonna just like wait or something. But I've had like a lot of instances in the past where I've had difficulties because of my like just like saying what like my intrusive thoughts are, just like voicing them all the time. I should say the voices are under supervision. Yeah, the voices are bumbling together and hanging out with each other instead of just meow meow meow. So I feel like it's a good change. Okay, logically it feels like a good change. Emotionally I feel conflicted because I feel less autistic, I feel less fun, I feel less entertaining, but I feel a lot more focused, I feel a lot more like driven, I feel a lot more capable, a lot more able to do stuff. But I know that I'm still like adjusting to it, and it's the lowest dose possible. It's literally only 5 milligrams. The lowest dose possible. The voices are still there though, so you can still blurt them out for us sometimes. Yeah, like for chat, I don't like here I don't feel like I have to mask. Like here on my stream I feel like I can be myself. Like I feel like I can be like safe and like fun and fine and you know a little unhinged, and I feel like that's fine. Whereas like when I'm working a job that's like federally regulated, safety sensitive, like I feel like it's actually kind of important for me to be self-controlled, to be regulated, to be under some self-supervision, because when I'm when I wasn't like on the meds, I would like how do I explain this? I would go and take brakes off the train, like the cars, before I put the engine to them, and if there's no brakes on them and the engine hits them, they can just go flying away. Like you can just send like 50 cars like just off the road, just onto the street, just like if there's hazmat it could just kill a whole town. And I'm just like, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. But like I remember one day my meds wore off and I went and I was like, yeah, let's knock off the brakes, and I'm like, I shouldn't do that, but I did it anyway. That's the scary thing. Hi blah blah. Hello, welcome in. We're yapping about work things after other life's discussion. But like that's like the weird thing is like when I have a thought, I act on it more right away. So if I have a dumb thought and a bad thought, I'll do it anyway, and there's no chance to like stop myself. Like it's like I act before, how do I say this? There were some times where things would like come out of my mouth before I thought the thought, and that still happens, but now it happens faster. So it's like, oh, if like when I started like almost arguing with my manager, I was like, that wasn't supposed to come out. I should have said that. That was supposed to stay in here. But yeah, like ultimately like he can decide to fire me. But because I'm part of a union, they can take my case to investigation, and it can be like battled out in court or in the arbiter. I don't know if it's called court. I don't really like quite understand that. But it's basically like court. The arbitration, I should say. Arbitration, investigation, however you want to say it. So, I kind of want to tell the story of what happened at work, to where I am now here, because we have like life update, work update, whatever. So as most of you, a handful of you probably already know, I work for the railroad, and I'm a conductor, which is the person that's on the ground that will go and like put the trains together and then like make sure they work. If we need to go down a different track, I'll get down and I'll like line the switch, it's called, that switches our track that we're on. And I have to make sure it's good and we're not going to derail or do anything bad if we go over it. And then I have to make sure like that the train is put together properly. There's not like hazardous materials where they can't be. I have to make sure that if we put the train into emergency, the brakes work basically. So there's a ton of information that goes into it. and it kind of is like just crammed into your skull. And like the training is like 4 months. It's 14 weeks. So it's like 12 and it's like 3.5 months. You have to learn stuff that people will tell you to your face. Yeah, it takes 2 years to actually understand. But you have 2.5 months to get it together and get out on the field. And I'm the kind of person that I usually pick things up really quickly and I learn things fast. And I'm like confident in my ability to comprehend, understand, and like do things. Like every job I have gotten, I've been really good at. I get promoted quickly, I get raises quickly, whatever you name it. So when I first like started, I was working like 2 hours away, and there's not as much management there. They're not as like over your shoulder there. And I would try to take like the hardest job I could. So I'd be like, if I can work the hard job, I can handle everything else. And then I'm like, good, I know this area and I can handle it. And I know that I will be competent. So I like actively challenge myself. And I've had people that work there for like, so you basically arrange properly the rail tracks. Yeah, that's like one part of my job. That's something that I have to do like over and over every day. But like I've had people that have been there for like 10 to 20 years telling me like, for a new person, you know the rules better than like anyone else that I've met. Hi Livestream, hello, welcome in. Yakking about work stuff. So obviously like I haven't been there long enough to be like, yeah, I'm a really good conductor. I really know what I'm doing, and I'm one of the best out there. I'm just healing and chilling after gallbladder removal surgery, and dang. Are you still in the hospital or are you at home now, Folkster? What type of work do you do? I'm a railroad conductor, class 1 railroad conductor. So I'm a part of a union. And so basically I got the experience enough where I was like, okay, I'm confident enough now in my ability as a conductor. Like I think I'm competent enough that I'm going to go to the central hub, which is the busiest, which is St. Paul, Minneapolis, basically. It's super busy. It's super crowded. The yard, honestly, we need double the amount of like tracks that we have, and so it's always very busy working out of there. And there had been like some incidences where there have been derailments and injuries. So the managers, the inspectors, FRA, they're like buzzing around and they're like swarming. How long have you been doing it for? I hired out last July. So what? 8-9 months or something? So I'm still pretty new. I'm still in my first year. At home, but my left side is still tender. Okay. Yeah, rest up, drink some water, etc. Where was I? ADHD. So yeah, I decided to come to the busy area, even though I knew that there was a lot of like management stuff, people being careful. And I'm very careful with the way I work. And I will like I'm very like intentional with it, even though it makes me a little bit slower. So I worked the hard job in the place 2 hours away. So when I came to Minneapolis, I was like, I'm gonna mark up to the hard job. I'm gonna work there for a month, and then I'll be like really qualified on it. I'll be a good conductor. And I like if I can do this job, I can do any job here. Like I fully believe that. And I had seen this job as a student. I think I can figure it out. And should not have done this, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna mark up to it. That's why I won't switch to day shift. Too much management. Yeah, I'm very much learning that. I'm learning that. Would you ever wear a GoPro to show us what you do at a training place? I would get fired. I could not do that. If I could, I absolutely would. I would love to. I wish I could stream all my jobs. I wish I could stream all the time. I've wanted to, but it's... I can't even share the train documents. I can't take pictures of them because it's all like federally... How do I explain this? It's like federally regulated, so like the cops can't even tell me what to do. Like, if I went and stopped my train in a crossing and blocked it for an hour, a cop could come up and say, hey, you need to move. And I'd be like, no, I don't. You can't make me. Like, only my managers and the FRA can tell me what to do when I am on duty, basically. And, like, and it's like a very specific branch of the federal... whatever. Like, I don't think a CIA... I mean, I don't even think a CIA guy could, like, force me to move. I'd be like, no, you can't make me do that. It's really weird. But, like, there are some things that if you're transporting, like, hazardous materials, like something for a nuke, you'll get, like, a full army escort. So it's like, we can't share the information of what our specific job for the day entails. So I can't ever share, like... my paperwork, my train consist, we call it, which is where it's like, okay, this is how many cars I have, this is the footage I have, this is my tonnage, this is my XYZ. So, yeah, I wish I could, but I can't do that. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to the story of, like, what happened. So, the job that I am, like, working now, because the job that I work can change every 30 days. I can do something different. And on Mondays, it's really easy, where I just, out of St. Paul, go down to a town, I drop off some cars at this industry. It's like the cereal making place Post. I just bring them, like, sugar and grain and whatever. And then I take back cars from them, and I'll bring them down sugar and whatever, and I'll bring back, I don't even know what I bring back. I think they're empty. But basically, we service that industry. We bring the people the stuff to make cereal, and they make all the cereal, then they ship it all over the country, whatever. I'm doing my part. Yippee. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are really easy, because I just go work that industry. Tuesday and Thursday is where I have to go to 5 different industries within 12 hours, which... it's really hard. It is the hardest job out of the whole, like, state, basically. Like, I chose to work the hardest job I possibly could. Because I want to be good. I want to challenge myself. I want to be a capable, competent railroader. And so I told the managers, like, hey, I'm really new to this area. I haven't been here since August of last year. Can I get someone to help me and, like, supervise me? They call them pilots. Can I get a pilot for this job? And for the job on Monday, they're like, no. And I was like, okay, I'll figure it out. I can handle that. And then Tuesday, they gave me one, and he was super helpful, explained the job, and after that one time, I was like, I think I get this. Like, I can handle this. This is doable. I'll just be slow. And he told me, like, okay, be careful. They test out here. The managers will test you. And I'm like, okay, understood. So the main hard part about this job is not getting caught doing something wrong. He's like, yeah. So then I, like, learned the industries and how to do the work, and, you know, so that day it was a lot, but I got it done. And then Thursday, got the work done again, had another pilot, and he wasn't really that helpful, but I was like, it's okay, I know enough about it to get the job done. And then, you know, I had the weekend, yippee, awesome, great. Now this week, Monday is fine, Tuesday is fine. I did not get a pilot on Tuesday because they only give me 2 for the job. The hardest job in the whole fucking state. They're like, you can only have help twice. It's like, seems questionable, but I can't argue with you. I can't force you to give me one. Whatever. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna do my best and get what I can done. Now, I got the work all done on Tuesday, but I didn't get the train all the way back to the depot because we ran out of hours of service, which is 12 hours a day. So we call that dead on our hours, or we just say we died. And so we were on our way back, but the work was all done and we died. So we had to leave the train there. Now yesterday morning, or Tuesday morning, the manager came out and tested me. And he told me, he's like, hey, I need your ID. I tested you on your radio communication, your red zones, and you're getting on and off equipment. You did really well. Only thing I would say is give it an extra second once you step off. And I'm like, okay, like, that's fair. Like, I'll take that. I'm not in trouble. I'm not getting a coaching or anything. Whatever. And then he's like, hey, do you like the job? And I was like, no. He's like, you want to stay marked up to it? And I was like, no. Especially knowing that I'm going to be tested. And this was the first day I was independent. I got tested right off the get-go, at like 8:15 a.m. And then Wednesday, easy day, went down, came back, did that. Thursday, yesterday, I get to work, and we're like, hey, we need to go get the train from where we left it the last time. And I'm like, okay. So we're gonna get in this van, they'll drive us out to where the train is, we'll bring it back, drop off the cars, get our new cars, and then go out to service all the industries again. And Thursday we only had 3 instead of the 5. And so we went to the first one, and they're like, hey, we're not ready for you yet, come back in an hour. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, I'll do that. Went up, pulled a car from our first industry, came back to our train, and I'm trying to think of a good way to like explain this. Maybe I should just make like a little drawing or something. Give me 1 sec. I don't know if I have a pen in here. Okay, so let's say I have to go up this track, okay? And let's say this is my train, and I should really just like find a pen. I moved my pen cart. Girl. I want to like draw a demonstration for this. Let me grab a pen. Okay, so bear with me, this will probably not be the best drawing, but okay, so we have and then and this one goes okay. So we are this train right here, okay? And this is the little switch thing. So our rail will come here when we're going up and down, and then over down here is the industry that I need to go to. And this one, they weren't ready for us, so we went up, came up this way, came back, and we left our cars right about there. So they're not gonna be, like when we back up this way, these are gonna be out of the way, we won't hit them. And so, little to my knowledge, we have, I mean, I knew there was a parking lot here. We have a buildings, whatever. So I have to stand right here, and I have to throw this switch to line it so that we can come into this industry, right? So we came from the straight track, we dropped off our cars, we pulled up, and then, so for us to pull up, this gap right here had to be open. It had to be on this side. And so I look down from right here, you know, let's say here's me, little stick figure Carmen. I look down and I see, okay, there's a gap there. There's nothing gonna block it, so I can throw this switch and line it so we can go in. So I throw the switch, and now the gap is over here. So it's right by my feet. I look down and I can see that, okay, it's lined up, so now if I go this way, my train will not derail. My points are against the rail. And it's flush points, good points, whatever, however they want to semantically say it. But basically, this thing happens to have a little lock on it. So I have to lock it before I can walk away. I have to unlock it before I can throw it. Whilst unlocking it, I can visibly see that there's nothing in the way. After I lock it, I can see, okay, yeah, that looks good. It's against the rail. It's not messed up. If I go over it, I will go to my industry where I want to go. So after I lock it, I climb back up here. I grab a little broom off the side of the locomotive, and I point with the broomstick in this hand. I point at the thing, and then I hop down, run up, hop on, and there's stairs up here for me to get on like the front of the train. And as I'm getting on the train, I have to look both ways. When I get on and off equipment, I have to look both directions. So I looked this way, where once again I can see that it looks good, and then I hop on, and I think to myself, well, maybe I should have pointed with my arm instead of with a broomstick. I should look again to make sure it's good. So now I'm over here on this side, right? And there's like a little railing before I get in my door. I lean over the railing, and I can see from this side that, okay, this point is open on this side, which means that it has to be flush against that side, unless the switch is broken, unless it is gapped. Possible. But again, I've already looked when I was right here, I've looked when I was right here, and I've looked when I was right here. So I fully believe this is correct, right? So I walk inside and I tell the guy that drives the train, okay, we are lined up, we have good points. When you're ready, you can start taking it back to this area. And he's like, all right. And then we hear over the radio the managers say, stand by, this is job 81. Stand by, job 81, for a job debriefing. Now, a job debriefing is when they're going to tell you how to do something. When they're debriefing you, that means they're taking you off the job. And I'm like, copy that, standing by. I know at this point, like, I'm either fired or I'm taken out of service. They're taking me off this job. I don't like this job. I want to be off this job. This is gonna suck, but like, oh, thank God. Fuck it, I don't need to learn this job. Job sucks. I'll just take my time off and work something else. And so they come up and they say, you didn't look at the switch. You didn't look at the points. You didn't make sure there was no gap. Remember how I explained I looked here, I looked here, I looked here, and I looked here. 4 times I looked, and they told me I didn't look. Well, I wasn't going to argue with them on the spot, but I told them, okay, was it not acceptable because I pointed at it with a broom in my hand? And they tell me that no, that's not acceptable. Now, in the rule, it doesn't say that I can't do that. When I read the rule, it says that I don't have to point at all. There's no rule saying you must point. It just says that you are responsible for determining the conductor takes responsibility for the switch points, which I determined visually multiple times. They're good. They're fine. I can see them. We're lined up. Hi, card. Also, high tier 3. So today Well, actually, let me kind of say a little bit more. When I still employed, yes. If I get fired, I have job insurance, so I still get paid as if I'm working every day, so I won't lose money at all. I want to get fired because then I just get free money, and then when I come back to work, because I have a good case, I'll get rehired because I have a union representing me. Even if I get fired, I will get rehired, and then I don't lose any money. So I want to get fired because I'll get time off, and it will be paid time off. And then when I come back, I'll just have gained seniority, basically. Because, like, if you get fired, okay, let's say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say I'm number 3. And then I get fired. So now this guy goes up a spot. This guy goes up a spot. But then when I get rehired, I don't go back to 6. I come back to 3. So I don't care if I get fired. I want to get fired so I can have time off. And I can just get rehired. At this point, if I go to investigation, they will fire me for a minimum of 30 days, which I want to happen. I want time off. I want to get paid to just fuck off, sit on my ass, play video games, stream, do whatever the fuck I want. I want to get paid to not work. So, yeah. If I'm going to work my ass off, I'm going to try to be a good conductor, and you're going to screw me, yeah, I want you to fire me. I want to take it to court. I want to take it to arbitration. I want to take it to investigation. So, anyway, they made a subjective decision that I did not look at the switch points. That I did not look. I did not verify. I did not correct them. And I didn't argue with them, because if I tell them the thing that proves that I did, they will say, oh, you didn't do that. Or they'll realize that they have a bad case. And they haven't sent my charge letter. Normally, I should have it by now. But they haven't sent it. So I don't know if they're going to drop the charges. There's a chance they do. I hope they don't, because I want to get paid for a month to do nothing. Who wouldn't? And anyway. So they tell us, you got to come with us. We're taking you off this train. We're going to take you back to the office, and we're going to yak at you. And I'm like, okay. So I hop off the train, and I go to this truck right here, right? And I look at the switch, right? Let's draw a little stick figure of me again. Sorry, this drawing is like so scuffed. But here's stick figure Carmen at the truck. She's off the train now. Remember, I left my cars here. So for us to leave, I had to move my train back to here. Seems like micromanaged job, or no? I think they have a quota of failures to meet or something. I don't know. They basically admitted that they were waiting to find me messing up on a C12, and they followed me for hours and hours and hours. They admitted that to me. So it got to the point where they, in simple terms, made something up. In technical terms, subjectively determined. Is their own subjective decision making, their own subjective judgment came to the conclusion that I didn't look. They don't have proof, because any camera footage would prove that I looked from multiple angles multiple times. So video footage would rule in my favor in this case. That's how, whatever. So anyway, I'm back at the truck now, and I look at where we were. And like, in all reality, the truck is probably more like right here, because it's at a angle. It is specifically at an angle to where I was working. So they can't tell what I did. And get this, right here, we have this tree line with branches that obscure vision between the truck and the train. Interesting to note, when I looked from the truck, and I saw, okay, from where the train is now, there's like a bunch of tree branches in the way. If I look from where we were, they're still at an angle where you can't determine where I'm looking. You can't determine what I'm doing. unless I walk 20 feet away and point with my whole arm, which I pointed and my arm went outside the rail. From their angle, it looks like maybe like meh. And I'm like, that seems really subjective. That seems interesting. So anyway, I put my stuff in the back of the truck. We drive to the depot. And let's say we get to the depot. How hard is it to throw a switch? Do you have to be strong? It depends. Some of them are really easy. Some of them are really hard. In winter, it's generally harder. Sometimes they freeze shut and I have to like smash them with a rock. I have broken rocks in half by trying to operate switches. So I would say that you want to be strong. There have been some that I couldn't throw, some that I've had to jump on, which is against the rule. It's unsafe. I shouldn't say jump on, but I've had to like step on them and like stomp on it. And a lot of people do that. But it's not recommended. It's not safe. If you can't throw it, the switch is supposed to be bad ordered, taken out of commission, etc. But yeah, it's not supposed to be that hard. Anyway, we get back to the depot, and now I have to wait for a drug test, because if you break one of these critical 12 rules, they'll give a drug and alcohol test. I don't drink alcohol, but now I'm on Adderall, which is, if you guys don't know, technically an amphetamine. So I know because of that, like, okay, yeah, they're gonna fire me. If I'm lucky, I'll get like 6 months off unpaid, and I'm just gonna go on vacation wherever I want. Sorry, I'm like playing with my pen and I like... okay. ADHDing right now. And so I did my drug and alcohol test. And, okay, here's the funny thing. So I was texting, such a weird, strict process. Oh, wait, it gets even weirder. Just listen. So we get to the depot, and I pull out my phone, and I'm texting Ian, my boyfriend, and my mom and my dad, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got a C12. They pulled me off the train. They pulled me out of service. And that was fine. And then I texted my union representative, and I was like, hey, I got pulled off for this C12. I have the drug and alcohol test in the next 20 to 30 minutes. If you can, sometime later today after that, if we can call, just let me know what time works for you. And my engineer had called him and told him a little bit about the situation. I really like this engineer. He's my favorite engineer. He went to bat for me. Really nice guy. Favorite guy. Really cool. And he was like, yeah, this is not right. This is not fair. This is messed up. This is not representative of the work you're doing out there. Like, he was basically telling me, like, hey, you're actually doing a good job, and, you know, like, this is messed up, and he was upset. And I was like, yeah, I get it. It is what it is. Have a good day. I don't know. See you next week, you know? Because, like, he's not in trouble, but I am, because I operated the switch. I'm the one responsible for it, not him. Whether or not he could see it and verify that it was fine didn't matter in this instance. And so anyway, he went home, and then I texted the guy, the union rep, like, hey, this is what happened. He's like, yeah, the engineer already called me, told me a little about it. And I was like, okay. So yeah, he called me, and then suddenly, hi Buki, we're giving the rundown on what happened the other day a little bit. So I could text my mom, I could text my dad, I could text my boyfriend, and my boyfriend also works for the same railroad. My dad worked for the same railroad, so they know about the process, they know how this works, they're giving me advice on like what to do and stuff. And that's fine. But as soon as a union representative calls me, hey, you can't be on the phone. It's like, I've been on the phone for the past hour sitting in this chair. What do you mean? And I was like, so I tell that, hey, he says I can't talk to you. can you not talk to me while he's supervising you, or can you just not talk to me at all? Ask him that. So I say, can I not talk to him while you're nearby, or can I not talk to him at all? He's like, you can't be on the phone until after the tests. And I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, it's a policy we have. And I was like, so I guess I'll just have to call him back. He's like, tell him to call me. So I told the union rep, hey, the manager says to call him. I guess I can't talk to you. He's like, all right, I'll call you back later. And I'm like, okay. So he calls him, and this manager had been sitting in a chair, like hanging out in the same room as me, like basically supervising me until he got the call. Like, I can't talk on the phone, but he can talk on the phone, and he can, oh no, the first thing I asked was, hey, I'm getting a call from the union rep, can I step outside to take it? And he's like, no. And I was like, okay. And then I like answered, and I was like, hey, he said I can't talk to you. And anyway, then he answers the call from the union guy and steps outside, and I was like, interesting. Hi, NASCAR, welcome back. How are we doing? We're doing good. We're yakking about the whole sitch. I feel like I should almost make like a separate video for this, because people coming at different times, it's all like whatever. So the manager steps up to take a call. I wait like another, I don't know, like hour for the guy to show up that does the drug and alcohol test. And so then when I get there, I go into a private room with the guy, and it's gonna be a alcohol like breathalyzer, like blow tube, and then they're gonna put this thing in my mouth to collect a spit sample. And I'm like, okay, like, yep, whatever, like I can handle that. One of my displays just turned black. Hang on, this computer just like, the monitor just like farted out. What happened? Hello? Wake up? Did I kick something? Do you guys hear that noise? Okay, it's back. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, I do the testing, and then the managers leave. Submit my tests, verify that they're correct, got my copies of them, go out, get in my car, drive home. And then today I had the like little training thing where I basically had to go do like testing on like, do you know these 12 rules that are the most important to safety? And I aced it. Of course I fucking know it. I know it by word. I know it down to the verbiage. I could write them back for you. Like, I scored highest on the final test for my training than I think anyone has in 4 years, and the last person to score higher than me was a NASA rocket scientist retiree. It was like literally a woman that was a NASA rocket scientist, a literal like space engineer, like a rocket engineer, like rocket scientist engineer lady. It like a big brain. So yeah, like I know the rules. Very familiar with them. Went and did the training, and then the manager's like, any more questions? And I was like, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Just go work for NASA? I probably could. I think I could do any job that I wanted to. Like, in all honesty. Like, if I wanted, well, you know, things like talent. Like, I don't know if I could be a singer. I don't know if I could, like, inherently be, like, an actor. But if it's something that you can, like, teach and learn, I think I can do it. And I think I can, like, excel at it. Like, I have that weird thing where, like, anything I do IRL, I get good at. You want to be a male stripper? If you go be a male stripper, Bookie. Or do what you want to do. Just whatever. If you want to do that. I feel like I'm just encouraging something weird now. I don't know how to say it. I don't know. Live your dreams, buddy. So yeah, today I had that little training thing. And then I was kind of like asking him questions about like clarification. And this is where I kind of get him. Did you find this job through family? Yeah. My dad worked there for 17 years. And I was like, dad works once a week and makes 6 figures. I should do that too. So I signed up and got hired. Just chilling and vibing now. Good. We are chilling and vibing here. That is the point. I know I still have a bunch of like little like shopping spree things to show you guys. I want to get through this like story and update and just get it out of the way, and then if people want to know, they can watch the VOD back. I don't know, maybe I'll make a separate video and upload it. I don't know. I'm unemployed again? How? Why? Why? I actually love your life, bro. I'm not judging you. I'm just like, what happened? You got fired? I'm about to get fired too, if that makes you feel better, but I'll get my job back, and then I have another backup job. Wrongfully, but mine was also wrongful. Mine was also subjective, biased decision making. Oh yeah, which, speaking of, let me get to the part where he admits it. So the manager told me that he was following me around for hours, looking specifically for these critical 12 rules, right? And he told me that he was looking for, like, okay, so one of them is position of switches, which is the one that he tried getting me on with the saying, you didn't look, and it's like, I looked 4 times. Okay, buddy. So he tried saying the first one is position of switches. And then there's shoving, which is where you're like going backward on a train and you have to be on it so like you can see, because if the person driving it can't see, someone else has to be the rear view camera and you can communicate via radio. So he tried getting me on that, but I did it right. So there's shoving, and there's shoving through crossings. And the area where I was working yesterday has a lot of unprotected crossings and half protected crossings and passive protected crossings, which means we're at like a fully protected crossing is one that has like the gates that come down and the lights and ding dings, like you can't go, like there's gates in your way. That's a protected crossing. And another protected crossing is one where it might just have the lights, where it might not have the gates, but it still has the lights and the ding dings. A passive crossing is one that just has a stop sign, or like, hey, stop, yield for trains, or like yield for RR, or RRX, like railroad crossing. Okay, hang on, let me read this. After working a 12-hour shift, they were trying to make me come back to work the same day on only 2.5 hours of sleep. And I was basically telling him I wouldn't feel safe operating or driving around on that little sleep, so he fired me. Do you work in transportation? Because if you have hours of service, you legally, well, at least in the United States, legally, federally must have at least 10 hours before your next on-duty time for a 12-hour shift. Just a note, like, see if that applies to you. Because otherwise, that's not right. Shoot, where was I? So yeah, they tried getting me on the riding equipment, but I did perfect on that because I know all the different ways that you can ride equipment and the ways that you can't. And even the ones where there's like one way that there's kind of a rule workaround where I kind of know the way to it, and it's just like, they tell me I can't do it, but I'm just like, passive crossing, yes. Okay, so when there's stop signs and stuff, I don't have to stop the train and get off and protect it. Now, if I come to a crossing where it's like in a town, there's no lights, there's no gates, there's no stop sign, there's nothing that would protect the crossing for the like general traffic, because a crossing is where a railroad comes and then there's like a road where people need to drive through it. So there's two on that job that I work, and I did them both right, where I pulled the train up to the crossing, I stopped him, and then I like dismounted, walked to the other side, and then I made sure there was no oncoming traffic. There has to be either no traffic coming or the traffic must be stopped. So I have to be able to say, like, the crossing is clear, which means that there won't be someone running across or trying to drive through. So yeah, like, there were 2 industries where I properly protected the crossing. And they told me, like, yeah, you did good on that. And I was like, and you did good on riding equipment. So you were looking for my riding equipment, you were looking for my shoving, you were looking for my shoving through crossings. You were following me, waiting for a critical rule violation. And after 7 hours, you didn't find one. You subjectively determined that you observed one from this angle far away in a parking lot. I don't think she could have seen. That's not evidence. That's not proof. That's subjective. So then, anyway, at the, like, little, like, talk thing today, he basically admits that, like, they waited for a moment where they could get me on something. And I was like, well, that feels kind of targeted. I just said it like that. I was like, yeah, when I was a student and when I was training, I was never tested. And then the 2 days that I'm on it independently and I ask for help and I am refused any more help or training, I get tested both days. That feels kind of, like, targeted. And he's like, no, there's just a lot of testing going on right now. We're testing, like, every job, like, every day. And I was like, And I didn't say it because I didn't want to, like, be like, oh yeah, that's cap, because on, like, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I was not tested on job 86. So that's not true. Like, I wasn't tested on those. But I was tested openly, admittedly, tested, asked for my ID the 2 days on this job specifically. So that's not true. I didn't say that, but I'm thinking that in my head, like, yeah, no, I was not tested on 86. I was only tested on 81, only when I was independent. And it's like, the way that could so quickly become a EEO targeted harassment thing, because, like, when there were other guys on the job, no problem, we'll let her go, we'll let her be, nothing to say. When she's on her own, suddenly getting tested both days. Okay. I have not seen or heard anybody else get tested. So you're gonna tell me that you're testing everybody every day, but no one else has mentioned being tested. I haven't seen anyone else be tested. I haven't heard of anyone else being tested. Kind of don't believe it. So, I asked any more questions, any more things that I had to clarify on, and basically, the 2 options that I have are, they will give me a, what's called a charge letter, where it's like, this was your violation, you are being charged with this. And then that will be the grounds where, if I sign and say, I did do this, I admit that I did do this, that's on my record for a year. Now, if I have this on my record, I can't be up for promotion. And if I get another one within a year, I get fired entirely. And I can't work a safety sensitive job for 3 years. I couldn't even work at Walmart because they have, like, safety things. I'd be more qualified, but I couldn't work because if I had a safety sensitive issue, I can't work a safety sensitive job for 3 years. So I don't want that on my record. I do not want that on my record. But if I sign it and I'm just a perfect angel for a year straight, I can just go back to work like nothing happened Monday. They didn't have a charge letter for me. They didn't have one to sign for me. And they want me to sign and admit my guilt and admit that this manager did a good job catching me fucking up. But it was arbitrary, biased. That this manager did a good job catching me fucking up. But it was arbitrary, biased, subjective determination, in my opinion. Or in looser terms, their source is they made it the fuck up. I'm not signing that shit. I don't want this on my record for no goddamn reason. That feels unfair. And it feels intentional. The fact that they admitted to looking for other critical violations and following me for hours. And the fact that they've repeatedly tested me. They are looking for failure. They are waiting for failure. When they don't find it and they want to go do something else, they will arbitrarily, subjectively decide that there is one. And so anyway, I kind of ask questions. I don't reveal any of my cards. I'm just like, oh yeah, on this rule, blah blah blah, on this rule, blah blah blah, on this rule, blah blah blah. And I'm just wasting time because I get paid by the hour for that. So how do I turn 45 minutes into 3 hours? Ask him stupid questions. Make him explain all these stupid things that I already know to the verbiage. Probably as well as him, if not better than him. But anyway, he obviously has like I know he has more experience with like his job, and I still want to be careful. I don't want to like piss him off, because if I piss him off, he's gonna target me for the rest of my career, and like I'm gonna have a target on my back. They're always gonna try to test me. They're always gonna try to catch me. They're always gonna try to fuck me over. They're always gonna try to get me fired. And so I'm like trying to be like, okay, make it seem like I want to learn from this. I want to be a good conductor. I'm a good girl. Please don't be mean to me. Please don't. That sounds really manipulative. But when they initially told me, I actually started crying. Like yesterday, I cried for like hours. Like when I was like getting off and like going to the truck, like I was crying. And when I was like walking out the door to like leave, he like admitted, he's like, yeah, felt kind of bad seeing the tears. I was like, you have a conscience? I didn't say that, but I kind of was like, yeah, I was upset, you know, like no one wants this to happen to them except me, because I want off that job. I want to get fired. I want fucking 30 days off. I don't care if I lose this job. I have my qualified license now. I can go work at any other railroad and get paid more. So I also still have my other job. I still have my backup job. Anyway, so I drove home, and then when I got home, I kind of like called my mom and dad, was kind of like chatting a little bit, and then I called the representative guy again, and I was explaining to him like, hey, I forgot to say this yesterday. Hey, I forgot to include this yesterday. And then, do you think they're gonna fuck me because of my medication prescription? And he's like, oh, that's a separate thing. And I was like, okay, because like pretty sure I'll get fired for that. And he's like, yeah, if you exercise your right to investigation and arbitration, they'll fire you anyway. And I was like, okay, sick. As long as I get time off, I'm happy. But it's just like, oh, dude. I'm never marking up to that job again. Like, I know it now. Now I know the job. It can fuck off. I learned it in one day. That was all I needed. I don't need to do it for 30 days. That's the punishment, is having to work the next 10 days. Hello, camera? I have like 6-7 days that I can use to lay off. And I'm just like, I'll just use some of those days to lay off. Like, I'm not dealing with it. Not dealing with it. So yeah, I called him, got that kind of sorted out, talked about more stuff, kind of talked about the process, and yeah. And then I was like, okay, I want to stream now. So now, here we are. That is the main life and job update. I have 10 days until I get the charge letter, and then I can take it to arbitration, or sign it, but I don't really want to sign it. I really don't want to sign it. That'd be like admitting guilt for something I didn't do. No, I'm not doing that. Okay, sorry, let me catch up on some comments real quick. Okay. Okay, here it's 8, but also I figured they would take into account that it takes me an hour to drive home and an hour to drive back, but now I was driving a salt truck. Oh yeah, no, they don't care about off-time transportation. That's the sucky part. Ah, hi Michael. Dude, nice 7-stream streak. Thank you. My job had me having panic attacks and crying in the truck after making me work 7 days straight, working 11 to 12-hour shifts. Yeah, that is not cool. I was kind of getting to the point on the job where I was on the verge of a mental or emotional breakdown. Like the night before, I was telling Ian, come to work with me. He's like, you're getting crazy eyes. I was like, come to work with me. Like, I know I was getting a little, you know, on the edge. But yeah, like overworking like that and stressing like that, it will absolutely affect your mental health. So yeah, definitely take the mental health seriously with stuff like that. Do those supervisors follow you around everywhere, or are they always at that job? The last 2 times were the only times that I've like known that I was like actively being followed by managers. So they don't normally follow me everywhere I go. Like, well, I should say I recently like just came to St. Paul, but when I was in St. James, which is the one that's 2 hours away where I had worked for the past 6 months, the managers out there, like, they left me alone. They're like, hey, you're doing good, like, good job, like, you're doing amazing, blah blah blah. But then someone bumped me and I got pissed. I was like, you guys are always laying off and screwing me over anyway, I'm gonna go work somewhere else. And then I come over here and I get screwed over by the managers instead of the other conductors, and I'm just like, okay, so when I'm done on this job and I use all my days, I'm going back to St. James because the work there is not even fucking hard. The work is literally not even hard, and I don't have to deal with these managers arbitrarily deciding things, subjectively determining that I did something different than the reality. So yeah, they don't normally follow me. Okay, on that job, they will normally follow me around and try to be sneaky about it and like listen to how I communicate on the radio. Like, if they had just told me like, hey, like, you need to communicate better on the radio with X, Y, and Z, I'd have been like, okay, sure, I understand, I'll do that. Or if they had said, hey, don't grab brakes from the ground, I'd have been like, okay, sure, understood, I won't do that. You're right, that's a wrong thing. But the fact that they try to get me on a critical rule that I didn't do, I'm like, if you got me on something that I did wrong, like, I would admit it. But I don't break the critical rules. I'm not that stupid, because the critical rules, if I break them, it can kill me. It can kill somebody if I fuck those things up. So I'm not gonna do that. Like, you think your like little freaking try-hard nerd 4.0 like fucking trainee is gonna try to fuck up the major rules? After you sit there and tell her that she did perfect on every other fucking single thing, you think I'm gonna believe you when you're like, yeah, but you did everything perfect up until this, and that's like, and you're not like pulling shit out of Africa's a-hole, like, excuse me, no. So anyway, I'm kind of like fried about that, but we're dealing with it. It's stupid, but it is what it is, and at the end of the day, it might be a blessing in disguise, because when I realized that they were like on a warpath, they're like going around trying to fire people, the people that are the new conductors are gonna be the biggest targets, aka me. And especially being like a girl, I kind of already like, everybody knows who I am because I'm a girl. There's not a lot of girls at the railroad. There's like 4. There's Carmen, Connie, Chelsea, and Sarah. I can count on one hand the employed girls that work for the railroad. So it's kind of hard for me to just like be sneaky and fly under their radar, right? So I've had to work that much harder to try to not have issues, and I'm like, I must do perfect because people are always watching me. And I was right. Like, I was really right with that. I painted a nice big target on my back last night. I know, I kind of saw you talking about that. I hope that doesn't go really shittily, by the way. I really hope it doesn't. Like, if my managers fuck up, I have to report, I don't have to, but I can report them to the FRA. Like, I had a manager tell me something wrong in St. James, but he didn't, like, piss me off, so I didn't report it to the FRA. But, like, I could have got him fired. So it's like, yeah, a lot of C names. I know, yeah, the 3 C's and then 1 S. Sarah's the outlier. Sarah's the one that is also, she has really bad ADHD. Like, she has the really bad, like, she's, like, more, like, hyperactive. Like, for me, I'm not, like, as mentally hyperactive as I am. Like, I just constantly, like, move my hands around and stuff. Hope everything works out with this job you have. Yeah, me too. And if it doesn't, like, that's okay. I got the main thing that I wanted out of it. Like, or I shouldn't say that. The best part about this job, I feel like I already got where I met Ian. I think that was, like, one of the main, like, reasons that I got the job. And then if I do get fired, I get paid 6 figures for up to a year to do nothing. Like, I want to get fired because I know that I'll win my case and I'll get my job back. And if I get a year off to just get paid and then I come back to my job and then I have a year's more seniority, I'm so happy. Like, that's the most ideal thing that could possibly happen, is that they fire me for a year. And I think that, like, with me having the Adderall, my chances of getting, like, longer term fired are even higher, because the approval time that it takes for them to follow up and approve me to come back with that is, like, 6 months. At least that's what Sarah said. So I basically might get fired for a year, stream for a year, get a shit ton of money for a year. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll get married, maybe I'll have a kid. I don't know. Imagine what you could do with a year with streaming and crafting and lip balm and stuff. I know, that's another thing that I kind of want to update on. I want to start making lip gloss. I got the stuff to start making lip gloss. And I wanted to put them on my chapstick site, which, what is it, exclamation mark, lip balm? So yeah, I wanted to put it on my site, but this site is hand-coded from the ground up by one of my best friends, and I can't do that. I don't know how to add products, I don't know how to add pictures, I don't know how to do that. And when I talked to him about it, I paid him like a flat fee, and he's like, once I'm done with this, I want to hand it off. Here's the admin so you can make discount codes and stuff. And then other than that, I can't really change it much. So if I want to sell other stuff, I'm contemplating making another like website. I might kind of revise my previous Wix website. And then I can add more products on it. I also want to try to get my chapstick, my lip balm. I shouldn't call it chapstick, it's lip balm. Chapstick is a brand of lip balm, but everyone calls lip balm chapstick. I want to get my lip balm certified so that I can sell it in stores. And it's a long process to go through. I might have to get it patented. I don't think I will, but I have to get all the ingredients like inspected, verified, broken down, and then if it did well enough, like I have to get a barcode made, I need to remake the labels, so like if I want to change the name and rebrand it, like this would be the time, like before I do that. But I want to get my lip balm to the point where I can sell it in stores, and that's like a whole process. I feel like now that I'm on Adderall, I feel like I can actually get it done. I genuinely do think it's a really good product, and I think it's something that once people got their hands on, they would actually really like. Like, I've bought so much chapstick that was pure dog shit just because it was at the store on a shelf, and it's like, if it was actually good, that'd be awesome. Like, if I bought like a chapstick like mine at a store, I'd be like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, what the fuck? Like, pull this up. So yeah, I want to get my lip balm, like I think it's like USDA certified and approved. If I can get the like FDA organic certified approval thing too, that'd be really nice. I don't think I'll be able to. It needs to have 95% organic ingredients, which mine mostly are, except for the apple, the coffee, and the peach, because those are perfume oils. They're not organic ingredients. So I don't know if I could get the organic certification thing. But yeah, if I could start getting them sold in like, even if it was just like the co-op, like health food store, like, you know, like a Whole Foods, but like a mini local one of that, like, I think that would be good. Getting it in any stores in general on shelves, I think would be really good. Like, I genuinely think if I got my chapstick figured out to the point where I could just sell it in stores, I think it would do so well that just having that would be like enough money for like stuff. But getting the whole business like started, figured out, going off the ground is obviously a lot. So it's kind of like I don't really know like where to start. It's just like one step at a time with things. So I might have to I don't know, not change the formula, but get them from different sources and like providers, because when I get it in bulk, then it's easier to certify the safety of it, basically. I'm always here for your stream and love being supportive of all your streams all the time. Thank you, NASCAR. I appreciate that. I appreciate people being here and just kind of hanging out, vibing, chatting. It's nice to just talk to people, hang out, and not feel like it's a void. But yeah, so we want to do that. I know it'll be like a long process. I've kind of talked to Ian about it a little bit, like, I need help, and he's like, okay. I think that's something that will definitely like take some time. I'll probably kind of like share the updates about it as it goes, like in the Discord and stuff.